Hello everyone, welcome to animation. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 10 best fight in the time I got reincarnated as a slime. So let's Rimuru vs. Ifrit. Shizu Izawa was an otherworlder like Rimuru who was summoned by the true demon lord, Leon Cromwell. Shizu was badly burned during the bombing of Tokyo prior to her summoning, and so Cromwell possessed Shizu with the spirit of the flame giant Ifrit to stabilize her body. Upon meeting Rimuru and his followers, Shizu lost control over Ifrit and the spirit took over her body. With the help of Kaval and her band of adventurers, Rimuru was able to defeat the salamanders summoned by Ifrit after absorbing Kaval's icicle lance and adapting it into icicle shotgun. Rimuru then turned his attention to defeating Ifrit, and, after withstanding Ifrit's flame circle with his fire resistance, Rimuru used his gluttony skill to absorb and store the spirit, forever binding Ifrit to his service. Number 9. The Kijin vs. 200,000 Orcs. At first, Tempest's power consisted only of goblins and direwolves, whose originally swore loyalty to Rimuru. However, after the ogres joined and evolved into Kijin, Tempest's military was able to confidently challenge 200,000 orc forces head-on. After their defeats, some of the orcs and Gabiru's lizardmen also joined Tempest, thus effectively increased Tempest's military might. Number 8. Geld vs. Shogo. The cowardly attack by the Knights of Falmouth on the Jura Tempest Federation featured three otherworlders, one of whom was the berserker, Shogo Taguchi. In his fight with Xian, Shogo initially failed to gain the upper hand due to Xian's immense physical strength, but, once the Western Holy Church erected magical barriers to sap the monsters of Rimuru City of their strength, Shogo quickly overwhelmed Xian with a flurry of attacks. Later, Geld got revenge for Xian by pummeling Shogo into the ground while simultaneously tearing him apart with his wrought skill. If not for the timely intervention of the magic user Raisin, Geld likely would have killed Shogo after depleting him of his ability to regenerate. Number 7. Xian vs. Clayman. Clayman resorts to his ultimate, six-armed form to fight Xian, only to face defeat. To add salt to his wounds, Milam suddenly takes Rimuru's side. It turns out she was never fully under Clayman's control, she had craftily feigned an obedient state and the necklace had no effect on her. Demon Lord Frey also refuses to aid Clayman, who now stands alone against Rimuru's group. While he and Rimuru both know how to recruit many followers, only the latter knows how to keep them through diplomacy and cooperation. Rimuru's honest, heroic ideals finally triumph over Clayman's self-centered ways. Number 6. Milam Nava vs. Carrion. When Milam declared war on Eurazania and challenged Demon Lord Carrion, it was obvious that she was not going to pull any punches, and their battle demonstrated why she earned her nickname, the Destroyer. Carrion and Milam battled in the skies above the Beastman capital city, trading blows with blinding speed. Carrion used his skill Royal Beast form to boost his power output in an attempt to best Milam, but she countered with her own combat form. She then proceeded to destroy the entire Beastman city with a single blast of her Drago Nova skill before her ally, Sky Queen Frey, took Carrion captive. If she betrays Rimuru and directs her wrath toward the Jura Tempest Federation, then fans are sure to see one of the best fights of the series to date. Number 5. Rimuru Tempest vs. Milam Nava. Making a Demon Lord friend. Demon Lord Milam Nava is far stronger than she looks, and Milam also has a reckless and whimsical side that makes her impossible to predict or control. At one point, Milam visited Rimuru's nation to see if she could have some fun, and she briefly battled the ogres before moving on to Rimuru himself. What followed was a brief but brutal exchange of blows, and Rimuru realized that even with his many abilities, he might not win. So, he craftily bribed Milim with a sample of local honey, and an impressed Milim called off the fight and declared herself Rimuru's best friend and ally. Number 4. Jura Tempest Federation and Allies vs Charybdis. The Calamity-class Charybdis was resurrected by Phobio after he was tricked by members of the moderate Harlequin Alliance into serving as a host for the one-eyed monster. Charybdis proceeded to attack the great forest of Jura along with a host of flying megalodons, and it took the combined might of Rimuru and all of his forces and allies to defeat the monsters. The megalodons were brought down one by one through physical attacks launched by the orcs, hobgoblins, Kinji, and Pegasus Knights from the armed nation of Dworgen, leaving only Charybdis remaining. Due to its high magic and physical resistance, Rimuru was ultimately forced to ask for Milim's help in order to destroy the body of Charybdis and save Phobio. Number 3. Rimuru vs Orc Disaster Geld. The Orc Disaster Geld began life as just a common orc, but, when he acquired the Starving One's skill, he assumed the rank of Orc Lord and galvanized his kin into a ravenous army of destruction. Geld further boosted his power when he ate the Majin Gelmudo, prompting his evolution into a Demon Lord seed. To stem the Orc's advance and prevent further bloodshed, Rimuru challenged Geld to a duel. Relying on his great sage skill to analyze Geld's abilities and determine the best method of attack, Rimuru managed to evade Geld's rot attacks while also using his dark flame to keep Geld at bay. When none of his attacks proved effective, Rimuru once again resorted to using his gluttony ability to absorb Geld, defeating him and the orc threat simultaneously. Number 2. Hakuro vs Kyoya. Hakuro the elderly swordsman fought the otherworlder named Kyoya twice, and in their first fight, Kyoya managed to overwhelm Hakuro in the streets of Rimuru's city. Later, during Rimuru's counterattack, Hakuro faced Kyoya once again, and he was better prepared. Kyoya was a tricky and confident swordsman in this fight, but Hakuro knew exactly what to do, and he kept neutralizing Kyoya's moves. Then, Hakuro finished the fight with the Crestwater Slash move. Number 1. Rimuru vs Hinata Sakaguchi. The best battle in Season 2 so far was the duel between Rimuru and Hinata Sakaguchi, the Otherworlder and Chief Knight of the Western Holy Church. Believing that Rimuru is an evil monster who murdered her friend and mentor Shizu Izawa, Hinata laid a trap for Rimuru to ensure his destruction. Hinata put down a barrier that sapped Rimuru of his strength before the fight even started, which put him at a serious disadvantage. This allowed Hinata to pressure Rimuru and land a number of hits with her dead-end Rimuru, putting his soul in jeopardy. Rimuru struggled to keep up in his sluggish state, and, if not for a quick move by Rimuru, he would have been obliterated by Hinata's disintegration technique. Fans are dying for round 2 of this fight and are sure to be rewarded at some point later in the series. That's it for now. Thanks for watching my videos. Before we go, please like and share this video.